Good morning and welcome to another edition of From the Desk of Dan White. And we usually start these updates with a market kind of summary. And I guess the only thing you can say is what a difference a month makes, right? It was a little over a month ago. We had Liberation Day. And we know what happened. President Trump slapped tariffs on most of the world, and the markets reacted very poorly. We actually hit a bear market at one point where we were down 20%. But all that has changed, right? This past weekend, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent went to Lake Geneva to meet with their counterparts from China over the weekend. Wonderful venue. And I imagine there's nothing like Switzerland in the springtime, so maybe the backdrop indeed helped the U.S. and the world's second largest economy, China, reach a trade detente, which we're still finding out a little bit more. But both countries have agreed to significantly reduce their reciprocal tariffs of 145% and 125% on each other's imports for 90 days starting this Wednesday. New U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods in 2025 are now at 30%, which is still high, but nowhere close to the numbers that have kept freight ships from embarking from China to U.S. ports over the past several weeks. In the agreement, Chinese tariffs on U.S. imports were cut to 10%. Now keep in mind, this is separate from the various other tariffs the U.S. has imposed on steel, aluminum, and automobiles on Chinese and other foreign imports. But according to President Trump, this is a total reset of the trade relations. And the market welcomed the news. I mean, the major U.S. stock market index, it's kind of funny. After Liberation Day, the markets were really going poorly. President Trump paused the tariffs, and the markets had a monster day. And that's kind of what happened yesterday. The U.S. stock market soared at the open, finished up across the board. The S&P finished up 3.3%. The NASDAQ, tech-heavy NASDAQ, gained 4.3%. Small cap Russell 2000 was up 3.4%, and the Dow Jones was up 2.8%. In addition, the VIX index, the volatility index, fell to below 20, its lowest level since the end of March. So, everything's good. Goodbye, fear. Everything but the utility sector was higher in the S&P. Market and industry bellwethers were up. Amazon was up 8%. Shipping giant Maersk was up 10%. FedEx was up 7% higher. So what does the U.S. get out of this trade tariff detente? Well, apart from a round trip in the stock market down and up in 2 months, an easing of economic fears, and freight ships likely embarking from China for U.S. ports again soon, it's really not clear. Trump talked up China opening up trade to the U.S. He said both sides can be winners. What comes next is hard to say. Mr. Market has no worst-case scenario thoughts anymore, but there's still going to be impacts. A 30% tariff on Chinese imports remains in play, which is close to the original Liberation Day number of 34%. But when we look at the price action in the market, the Liberation Day unwind is complete. So the market is trading back at a similar level around 5,800 as it was on March 5th or March 4th. So, it's kind of, 2 months, we're back to zero. On April 2nd, Liberation Day arrived with a chart of high double-digit tariff rates. Panic ensued for a few days. The S&P dipped into a bear market. Trump paused things. That was step one in the unwind. It was a signal that, yes, Trump does care about the market's reaction in both stocks and, more importantly, bonds. Today, the new blanket 10% worldwide tariff remains in place, as do the levels threatened on Liberation Day, but everything remains paused. And it looks like the White House is open to negotiating those rates down to get certain concessions. So this is step 2 in the unwind. The White House is willing to talk with the biggest target of the tariff policy and the lone nation that retaliated against the U.S. with their own higher tariffs. So given all this, it seems the market expects any potential tariff impacts to be soft. All the major U.S. indexes are back to where we were in March, and the S&P 500 is up 17% from Trump's announced pause on April the 9th. But risk remains. From the looks of it, we'll move on to more normal concerns now. The government spending, inflation, jobs, and with a new tax and spending bill and debt limit talks happening in Washington, I think you just keep your eyes out for any market surprises. But the things we were all worried about before the tariffs, they're still there. The market is still very expensive. We're still $37 trillion in a hole. None of that is going away. It's just the risk of tariffs is kind of unwinded. So if we were worried on March, we should still be worried. If you weren't worried on March, who knows? So that's our market update. We do want to thank everybody who's given us Google reviews for Middletown, Glen Mills, and our Lewis office. If you have not yet had the opportunity, if you have a Gmail account, and you've had a good experience with us at Dan White & Associates, by all means, we would ask you to go on your Gmail account and give us a Google review. We would appreciate that. Also want to wish everybody and hope all the moms out there had a great Mother's Day. We had a very relaxing day in my house. My two favorite moms, my wife and my mother, were both over, and we had a great day. Mom's favorite is spaghetti and meatballs, so we had a big spaghetti and meatball dinner. So happy Mother's Day. And in upcoming events, it is very quickly coming to fruition. Our 2025 charity golf outing takes place this coming Monday, May the 19th at DuPont Country Club on the Nemours course. We are still looking for about 8 golfers. So even if you don't have a foursome, if you want to come out and play golf, we can put you together with some other people. So registration and dining is going to take place at the Brantwyn Estate at the DuPont Country Club. 10:30 a.m. is our registration with lunch. There's a 12 p.m. shotgun start, and then dinner and dinner buffet, and the awards will take place around 4:30. So if there's anyone who would like to take part in this event that doesn't golf or would like to invite their significant other, there is a dinner-only option to register for, too. So if you're playing golf, you want your wife to join you later that evening, we can accommodate that as well. And then a new thing we're doing, the Dan White & Associates Enrichment Series, is something we're rolling out. It's happening in June on the 25th. My good friends at Action Potential Physical Therapy are providing information and leading us through a stretching program to show the importance of staying active every day. And I don't know about you, but I could probably use some additional stretching. But it's going to take place on Wednesday, June 25th at our Glen Mills office on the second floor at 9:30 a.m. And again, we don't have all that much room up there, so space is limited. If you want to come out and learn how to stretch a little bit, you want to get signed up as quickly as possible. And if you need more information or to register, please contact Chris in our office here in Glen Mills. So, and one last thing on a personal note, in the White family, one of my sons, Dylan, he is our third child. He got engaged about 2 weeks ago. So we're going to have another wedding, probably the latter part of 2026. They're looking at the fall of 2026, looking at venues and that kind of thing. But that's exciting. And now we will have hopefully a new daughter-in-law and, hopefully another happy family under our umbrella. So that's kind of our update for the week. Before we talk again, Memorial Day will be here and gone. So I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. Hopefully you take advantage of the 3 or 4 days, 3 of May. Some people it's a 3-day, some people it's a 4-day. Maybe you're going somewhere, going out of town, but I hope everybody really enjoys the Memorial Day weekend, and summer is here. So we're looking forward to that as well. So hope everybody has a great day and has a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.